Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Season 1 of my Let's Play series. You have joined episode 30, and today I wanted to try to work a little bit more with this immersive engineering. And I wanted to start off by giving the grid access to this creosote oil. I think it's going to make things a lot easier to craft. Grab a few cables here. Change that to fluids. And I don't have a fluid grid out here, so to double check, I'm going to run back into the base here and take a look at the fluid grid just to make sure. And yep, we sure have our creosote oil. Good. And the reason I'm going to want that is we're going to want to make some of this treated wood, which, as you can see, is regular planks with a bucket of creosote oil. May not have any planks. I don't. So let's see if we can get a couple stacks. Shouldn't be a problem. So now if I ask for some treated wood planks, let's see. It says I still need a bucket. So that's how we get our treated wood planks. And that is why I have a grid out there. I'm probably going to want a fluid grid out there as well, so I may as well get one going. And after looking in the book, I think one of the first things that I'm going to want to do, of course after I patch this back up, there we go. I think what I'm really going to want to do is move up to the improved blast furnace. And to do that, we're going to need some steel plates, which we can get with some of this steel. There we go. And I think you can even do this in your own personal crafting grid. Just take that steel ingot, and to start off with, we're going to be using our engineer's hammer. And you get one plate for each ingot. Let's see if I've got anything still cooking in there. Nope, that's all cooked. Let's take a look at that improved blast furnace again. And that's a steel plate on top of the blast brick. So I'm probably going to want a few more of those because we needed 27 of those. So, what was that, 7 more? And I think what I'm going to do is basically tear down the blast furnace that we already have and see if I can't... Oh, must have miscounted there a little bit. There we go. So I'm thinking if we just tear down this blast furnace that we have, we should be able to use those bricks. Again, I don't see why not. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I should just be able to hit it with the engineer's hammer again. No? Well, let's see what I did wrong. Oh, it looks like I might have needed to put a hopper up there. I think that's the only part I'm missing. I'll look at that animation one more time just to be sure. Yeah, it looks like we just need to put a hopper on top. Well, that's not so bad. Just happen to have one already. That's convenient. I'm pretty sure this is going to go just in the center. There we go. Now maybe hit it with the hammer again? Yeah, there we go. Oh, that looks way cooler than the crude. That's nice. And then these on the sides, I believe, are input and output is what it was saying. So we should be able to test that really quick. I'm just going to grab some item conduits. And what I'm thinking is, I don't know if this is going to work. I honestly have not done a whole lot with immersive engineering. I just wanted to try to check real quick. I think I need to run back to the base and grab my wrench. There we go. Well, maybe it won't connect there. That's all right. Maybe it'll connect to the top. Because what I really want to do is be able to automate this. You know, I don't want to have to continually be piping stuff in and out of here. Yeah, it looks like that was the problem. Looks like I need to pipe it into the top. And eventually I'll replace this stuff. I'll end up doing this with immersive engineering items. But I wanted to at least see if it was going to work the way I hoped it would. I've been dying to try this immersive engineering. It's not really a mod that I've played around with a whole lot. Let's see, that should extract always active. Now the real question is that going to try to extract slag, or is it going to try to extract the coal that I want it to? Set that to insert. And it is. It's taken the coal. Excellent. Exactly what I wanted to see. So that means I should be able to. This is where I'll probably borrow a little bit from the grid. Because I think I should be able to do something like that and have another grid, or have a grid. I may end up moving where that grid is. I'm not really sure yet. But I've got part of that going, so I know that'll work somewhat. And now say I want to do some more coal, and I'm going to want some more iron. So we should be able to put the coal in here, and the iron in here. And now I should eventually be able to automate this whole process. I've got to learn a little bit more about how exactly piping stuff in and out of these items works. I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried to pipe stuff in and out of a furnace just a regular Minecraft furnace, but it's a little trickier than you might think because you can only pipe certain items in and out of certain sides. And I'm thinking that might be the case with some of this immersive engineering stuff. And it is still getting dark awfully quick in this back. I don't know if anyone remembers me mentioning that. But man, it sure does seem to get dark quick. So I've got that partially automated, and I think I'm going to live with that for now. See if we can't get rid of these guys. Oh, I just threw the bow. And they are not letting up, are they? There it is. All right. Well, now that we've got our improved blast furnace, I think the next item on the list is probably going to have to be the metal press. Let's see, it looks like it's going to need a redstone engineering block, perhaps. So let's see. See, these are all the different plates it can make. And I really don't want to have to continually hammer stuff manually. That just doesn't really seem like the way that I want to play. It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, there we go. 2 steel scaffolding, redstone engineering block, a piston, 2 conveyor belts, and a heavy engineering block. So I've spent most of the day teaching the grid how to make most of these items that I believe we're going to need. Should have been typing that up here. Is that, no, try JEI synchronized. There's the redstone engineering block. That we need copper, redstone, and iron. So that should be crafting. There we go. I needed a steel scaffolding. For that I'm missing some steel rods. So I'm going to need to go and teach this thing how to make some steel rods real quick. I just now saw that question mark on the side, by the way. I kind of wish I'd seen that earlier. There's this little question mark here on the side that actually shows me the required materials. So let's teach this thing how to make some steel rods. There we go. I think one of the other things we're going to make today before this episode is over are some travel anchors. I'll show you guys what those are all about here in a little bit. Let's see what we need. Now we got the redstone engineering block. Some steel scaffolding. I think that was what I was trying to get. I'm missing 5 steel ingots because I took them out of the grid, of course. There we go. Two steel scaffoldings. That gave us plenty. And piston, 2 conveyor belts. Let's see, the conveyor belts. Yeah, there was leather. There was a couple of ways to make these, by the way. I wanted to show you guys that real quick. You can make these with rubber from Industrial Craft. But honestly, I thought since I already have a cow farm and leather's not much of an issue, that going with the leather recipe would work out better for me. The rubber may work out better for some of you other guys that are playing, but I did want you to be aware that there was more than one way to craft that. Some of these are really interesting. Lots of different types of conveyor belts for being able to move things around, which I think is pretty cool. Let's see, 2 conveyor belts, a piston, redstone engineering block, and the heavy engineering block. Let's see if I taught it how to craft that. I did. For that, I'm missing 2 steel mechanical components and 4 steel ingots. It looks like there's something else I did not teach the grid how to make. Tell you, there are a lot of steps to crafting in this immersive engineering. And honestly, without the help of the grid, I'm not sure that I'd actually be able to do all of this. Let's try that again. Heavy engineering block needs this. Let's teach the grid how to make that. And it looks like I'm going to need some electrum also, so I'm going to have to teach it how to make electrum. I'm pretty sure I haven't taught it how to do that yet. And remember, anytime that we're doing something that requires a machine, we want to use this processing pattern encoder. So let's make sure we've taught it how to make electrum. That's just gold and silver. I'm probably at some point going to have to put a couple more smelters down here because I am running out of space for this to be able to make things. So hopefully that was the last little bit of what we needed for the heavy block. We're waiting on some steel, it looks like. Well, we got plenty of steel. I don't know what the deal is. I may need to take a look at that recipe again. Yeah, it looks like I'm trying to use the steel from Industrial Craft. So let's see where that block was. That's an easy fix. We can try. We can try doing the ore dictionary and see if that does it. I don't know that it will. The ore dictionary is kind of funny sometimes. It tries to use the material that you have in there first a lot of the times, and then it will check to see if there's an ore dictionary version of it somewhere. So let's see if that'll work for us. Not really. So I've got the steel. We've got plenty of steel in there. So it looks like I'm actually going to have to make sure that we're using the Industrial Craft steel for this. Or not the Industrial Craft, but the Immersive Engineering steel. Now I should be able to craft it, right? Man, that is crazy. Try it one more time. This time with the ore dictionary off. Because it may just want to use that industrial craft steel. I don't know why. But that's what I mean. I had this problem a few episodes ago where I had plenty of the material, but it was an ore dictionary problem. Something in there is trying to use industrial craft steel. I may need to check these recipes again. It's got to be the steel mechanical component because that's the only other thing I've used. So we'll try that again. That's got to be what the problem is because we have plenty of steel. There we go. Finally. So hopefully by the time we get out here, we'll have the rest of this stuff crafted. And of course, it's nap time. Just rotating my map. Silly Minecraft mechanics. So let's see. We need the redstone engineering block and the conveyor belts. There's the redstone block. There's our conveyor belts. And hopefully that heavy block is done. It is. We should have our steel scaffolding somewhere. There it is. And the piston. I think we'll just set this up right over here. Take a look at that one more time. Scaffold, redstone, scaffold. Jeez. Man, I live in a rough neighborhood. So that should have been scaffolding, redstone engineering block, scaffolding. This recipe did not call for any zombies, sir. There's the piston and the block on top. Okay. So I'm guessing we'll need to do that. And is this something I can turn with a wrench, perhaps? Oh, it is. And I've never actually tried to turn a piston before, so I did not know we could do that. And then I believe I just saw those arrows on there. I did not know that was the thing. So let's take that conveyor off really quick and make sure that it was going the way we wanted it to, which I believe is this way. I think we want that going in. So that is really nifty. Let's see if we had to do anything special. And then click the piston with the engineer's hammer. And there we go. Look at that. Now this does use power. This is something that's going to need some power. So I think what we might work on over here is I'm thinking we might do some power gen from immersive engineering itself. And what we'll need is one of these kinetic dynamos. So let's just come over here to our grid really quick. I didn't set any of this up in the crafting or in the auto crafting part of it. So let's just see if I have enough stuff to make this happen. LV wires, copper wire for that. That's why we need the metal press. Wow, so it looks like we'll have to hold off on that for a little bit. We're nowhere near ready for that. But I think what we can do, believe it or not, is I think we can still get some power out here. Some iron casings, should be able to make those. This is why I love modded Minecraft. We should be able to do something really similar to what we did in our mining base. And I'm thinking I should just be able to make an exporter. So while we're waiting on that to craft, let's go ahead and grab some power conduits. And again, I don't have much experience with immersive engineering, so I'm not actually sure if this will work. So this is going to look ugly. This is going to look really ugly while I figure out if this stuff is going to work or not. And I'm not sure that it is. It is not wanting to connect. So I think we may have to make some kind of, I'm not sure what they are in this capacitor. We'll probably have to make some capacitors and some wires. So we may have to do this manually to get this rolling. I'm sure this will come in handy at some point, so not too sad about it not working out. We can just put that stuff up. So let's take a look in our book again. And let's see what we can do to get some basic wiring. We need to make, oh, we can do shears. Well, that won't be so bad. Let's try doing some shears. And let's see what kind of wiring we will need. Copper coil block. Needs LV wire coil, which is copper wire. Copper plates. So we should just need to pull some copper out of here, which I have plenty of. And I believe that was just the hammer. Throw a few in there. Shears and copper plate. Look at that. There's our copper wire. And there went our shears. So we need copper coil block to get the LV coil wire. We should have plenty of that stuff. There it is, copper block. Am I going to have to tell it I want one for each one of these? Oh yeah, because I didn't put that stuff in the grid. Let's try that again. There we go. Just get a bunch of that stuff. And let's see, we need one of those. And that'll give us one of these. Yes. And let's see if our fluid grid is ready, because we're going to need some creosote for this. There we go. Just pop that there for now. And what I'm going to want to make to generate the power are these water wheels. For that, we're going to need some of these water wheel segments, which we get from treated sticks, which we get from the treated wood planks. I need 4 of those. I'm going to need quite a few of those segments, I think. I need 4 of those. So I'm going to need 16 pieces of wood. Make that 12. Eventually I'll be able to automate this part of it as well. And it is starting to get dark again, so I'm going to make one more batch of these. And then we're going to have to go take a nap. Getting dark again. That may have been what I was missing too. I may have needed a connector. ingots and hardened clay. How do you get hardened clay? Oh, I already have some somehow. How do you get this stuff? Hardened clay. Oh, it's just clay. Okay, that's no big deal. Should have plenty of that. Oh yeah, I'd say we have a little bit. So let's run and go get this cooking up really quick. I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and put this in one of my smelters that will automatically import this stuff into the grid for us. We'll need those connectors anyway to connect those wires. That much I do remember. So I've seen some people mess with immersive engineering. I just don't have a whole lot of experience with it myself. I think I just put that away. There we go. We'll probably start off, I'm thinking, with the low voltage. And see, I already have enough. That's excellent. Thinking it looks an awful lot like that needed to go there. So we should be able to get back to crafting our water wheel. We already got our kinetic dynamo. I'm thinking over here is going to be a good of a place as any. So I'm just going to start back over here. That's one of the things I love about this drill, by the way. Still have some dirt on it. Dug a little too far down. This drill, it drills through dirt or stone just like it was nothing. A little too much like nothing sometimes, unfortunately. Now this is going to need running water for this to power something, or to power anything for that matter. Seems like I've always got more stuff floating around than I want. So let's see. And it does matter which side you put the dynamo and stuff on as well. Let's see here. Didn't do on the other side. Oh, maybe it goes. Or I may not have given it. There may not be enough room right there. This thing is it's a pretty decent size. There we go. That was the problem. So now I think I need a bucket, which I probably didn't bring with me. because I think we need to have some kind of water running on this. If I remember right, it'll be something like that, perhaps. Yeah, there we go. I had some stuff in the way. So I should be able, that should be generating power right now. It probably is. But I want to clear this up a little bit because we're going to make a few more of those. Because you can put, I believe it's 3 water wheels on each one of those kinetic dynamos that we just made. I want to make sure that there's enough room in here for those water wheels. Got a little bit more of this. That is the only problem with this hammer. You see what's, or this drill. You see what's happening right there. Is I'm hitting some kind of imaginary block because this drill is so fast that it leaves like little ghost blocks behind. So occasionally I have to come and do something like this to make sure everything's all cleared out again. See, now there's no problem there. So, excuse me. So if you guys are, having problems like that, you don't know what's causing it, that's probably what it is. It's a little easier to tell if you use a block that is different from the one that you suspect may be causing that. But anyway, what I want to try to do now is, let's see, yeah, see there's some more of that going on. And it really, this is just happening because this drill is so fast. Should have taken care of that. Yep. So, clear a little bit of this out. I'm pretty sure I'm going to want a connector on this thing as well. We should, let's go ahead and clear some of this junk out of here. That's a little better. Let's get some of this copper wiring. See if we can't just connect what's there. We'll probably need to clear out the rest of that little tree there because I'm sure this is going to get in the way. There we go. Thought I still had a hatchet on. There we go. Yep. some of this out of the way. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to set a connector up here as well. Let's see. So it won't let me do that one. So I'll probably need one of these other kinds of connectors. I saw some other connectors. What I don't see is my pickaxe. Oh, good. At least I put it in the grid instead of throwing it away. I'm thinking what we might need are some of these low voltage wire relays. That looks easy enough to craft. So let's try that. There we go. I have been attacking all the zombies I can find because some of the stuff I'm going to want to start crafting are going to require a few specifically zombie heads. I may work on our mob kill rooms downstairs a little bit to try to increase the drop efficiency of heads and things of that nature. I'll probably end up redoing the Enderman spawn room so it produces a little more XP for us as well. I'm thinking that if I might be able to make this look halfway decent. Possibly. I'm not making any promises on that. What are you doing over here? Silly Enderman. So, will it let me run a wire from here all the way down? Yes, it will. And how about I just clear this out? I do know also that things like dirt and blocks can get in the way of the wires, which is not something we want to have happen. And I'll probably try to make this look way prettier at some point. For right now, I'm basically learning this right along with you guys. I, again, do not have a whole lot of experience with immersive engineering. So if I put that there, and there, I should be able to run that from there to here. And is that giving us power? Do I have to do it up there, perhaps? Let's try it up there. And it would make sense, I guess. Oh yeah, look at that. We're getting power, guys. How awesome is that? So we actually got a fair amount done in this episode. I know this one's going to be a little bit longer, but it is my 30th episode, so I wanted to spend a little bit more time trying to get some stuff figured out. So that's our metal press. So I wanted to kind of take you guys around because I have been doing some work, obviously I've got another grid out here. You saw me add the fluid grid. We've got our improved blast furnace now. I have been working on getting some more of the Terra steel, but honestly, I've been really busy trying to get ready for this immersive engineering stuff, so I've only crafted a handful of that stuff. You guys saw me playing with my map earlier. I don't know if you guys have seen these before. These are just regular maps, and that's going to be this map number 0, or I'm sorry, the empty map, which is just paper around a compass, which is iron around a piece of redstone there. But basically what I do is I'll just make 9 of these, and these are the 9 chunks around my little base area here. And it's just something I like to do for decoration because it's kind of fun. See what else has changed. I've got looting 3 on my ender now. So what else have we done? Got some more compacting drawers. I think I did fix my blaze room. I think I'm still going to work a little bit more on it. I did figure out what was going on over here, by the way. We were getting the blaze rods. They just weren't going in this drawer. They were actually ending up over here, which I don't know why I didn't think about it at the time. But I did end up rearranging the spikes in there because, honestly, they never went much further than a block or 2 away from the spawner. So I did rearrange that. We're getting liquid XP now. These spikes that I put in here, by the way, I've got some of these diamond spikes, which are player kill only items. So we'll get some items that normally you'd only get if you kill them yourself. And I've got some of these golden spikes in there where mops drop experience. And so what I'm thinking over here in our Enderman kill room, it's all right, those should be right there. Man, I've always got a ton of stuff I don't want. Let's see. Put that in there for now. There we go. Come over here, maybe. Where's that wall? Right here. See, I've got punji sticks in here for now, and they're working. They are working. But what I'm thinking is if we replace these with some of these spikes, we can be getting a little bit extra, a little bit more than what we're getting. I honestly don't see any reason why we shouldn't do that. I put up some of those blocks, who knows? Those will probably be fine. Yeah, that's not going to hurt anything. But I mean, you can see I've let this run for quite a while, and it is working. It's working pretty good. And this one isn't working so bad either. But what I'm honestly thinking is, since I've never really seen them go much further than a block or 2 away, I may actually shrink this room down on the inside. I'll still keep it flush with the outside here, but on the inside I'll probably bring it up to where you can see those blue and gold spikes, or the diamond, the diamond and the gold spikes. I'll probably bring that in. That's as far away as I've seen them go, so that's pretty crazy. And yeah, you can see we've almost got a whole bucket full of experience, so that is definitely working. And the next step here would be, as I'm going to replace this tank with an ender tank and have that pipe directly into our experience obelisk upstairs, because that is an option. You can't have that experience pipe directly into there. There's a few different ways to do it. And I think with the distance that we're looking at, it makes more sense to do that with ender tanks. I think we have gotten quite a fair amount done today. Uh, we're getting through immersive engineering, or I'm kind of fumbling my way through it. But I hope you guys are enjoying these episodes. If you are, be sure to give me a thumbs up. If you want to be notified of the videos that I put out in the future, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for stopping by today, guys, and take care.